Even though you have a bunch of guys who work law enforcement, all kinds of people that you could have told that, look, I'm involved in this. You didn't tell anyone. You did think she was going to do it. You went down there to warn him.
Right.
You went down there not just to warn him. You went down there and you waited. If what you're telling me is true, if I'm supposed to believe what you're telling me is true, you're saying that you went all the way, you believed it so much to the extent that you went all the way down to Longmont after you had spent the night with her to go down there and sit and follow a mail truck around for 2 or 3 hours. That's how much you believed it. And you didn't tell anyone else. That's what I'm supposed to believe?
Hello all you couch detectives out there, my name is Lee, thank you for being here. On this channel we post full interrogations, in-depth case breakdowns, wild body cam footage, and much, much more. We have over 300 videos on this channel already and a lot more on the way, so make sure you're subscribed. For content that is not appropriate for YouTube, including raw footage in a lot of our cases, extras, and a lot more, check out a free trial on our Patreon. You will not be disappointed. Simply scan this QR code or check the Patreon link in the description. Okay, enough rambling, let's get into it. October 13th, 2021, Longmont, Colorado. 33-year-old postal worker Jason Schaefer was delivering mail on his route when an unidentified person approached him and opened fire. Several residents ran out of their homes to find Jason Schaefer lying in a pool of blood next to his mail truck. He would not survive. But who could have done this, and why? Of course, detectives will start the investigation with those closest to him. Jason's ex-girlfriend and mother of his child, 27-year-old Devan Schreiner, would be a person of interest. She is also a mail carrier with the city of Loveland, Colorado. Detectives bring her in for questioning to see what she might know about the situation. That interrogation is linked below for those that would like to see it. But Devan was not the only person of interest in this case. As the investigation moved forward, her on and off again boyfriend AJ Ritchie would raise some questions to detectives as well. They would bring him in, and here is that interrogation. But first, let us have a moment of silence for the victim in this case.
How you doing, AJ?
Good, how are you?
You remember me, Chris Lucas, I'm Postal Inspector.
Yeah. We have Detective Burke with Longmont PD. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you too. So first off, I know that we're at your place of work, so I imagine that they called you down here, so you probably don't exactly feel like you have a choice in being in this room right now since your bosses are all outside the door.
Correct.
So before I ask you any questions, why don't you go and have a seat? We'll go through this first part. Let me ask you this, do you have any weapons on you, any knives, nothing like that? Okay. So first off, it doesn't even matter the reason we're here, just the circumstances, the fact that we're at your place of work. I don't want you to feel like you're being coerced into talking to us, all right? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to read you Miranda real quick, all right? Just to go through that. Do what?
Am I being arrested?
Right now? No.
Okay.
All right? All right, you have the right to remain silent. Having these rights in mind, all right, are you okay with me asking you some questions about some stuff that went on here this last week or so with Devan?
You can ask me questions when I'm planning to find the answer and stuff.
Okay, all right. You want to start?
Yeah, so when I
Oh, actually, sorry. Let me sign this quick. Just saying that I told this to you. All right, so go ahead and this right here, just saying that you understand. Let me get a signature from right there. All right, I appreciate it.
So when we talked the other night, I told you we were trying to put the timeline together regarding, when you saw her, Devan, and all of that. And so really I want to kind of clean up some of the timeline stuff. On Wednesday night, your wife's sitting next to us, and I know it's going to be hard to talk about multiple things. Am I correct?
Yeah, I had to talk to her about it the next day and tell her that I was having my phone.
I'm sorry, I missed
I
that.
had to tell her that I was having my affair the next day.
Okay. So she now knows.
She's aware of the affair.
Okay, so and I'm assuming a couple of things. I figured that was kind of part of it, and that's why I didn't push real hard on Wednesday night. Does that make sense? I mean, I get it. I kind of told you that in the interview. So we just want to kind of clean up some of the timeline stuff. I mean, obviously, let's just kind of start with you're at Hooters from like 12:30 to like 1:15. Is that about right?
I feel like it's later than that.
Okay,
Maybe that's right.
1:45.
I think it's 1:45. Yeah.
Okay. How did you get to Hooters?
Drove.
Your truck? Okay. The black one, the one that was in the driveway? I think it's Silverado, right? Okay. So you drove your truck there.
Yeah, I drove myself.
And you were on your phone? You had your phone with you there?
Correct.
Okay. So you remember being there on your phone, and it's your personal, the one that you gave to me, right? So is that, I mean, did that make sense? And that's your phone, and that's the one that I took, right? Okay. So you got there, you're there, you eat wings, hang out with your buddy Brandon?
Correct.
Okay. As we went through this, sorry, I didn't mean to bring that in. And so we were talking about multiple things that day with Devan and her timeline. One of the things you told me is that she drives like a Nissan Rogue or Murano.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember, like, if we showed you a picture of her car, would you remember what it looks like?
So this is her car on the license plate reader back
That's
in
her
May.
car.
All
That's her
right.
car.
That's her car.
This is down at the scene, the neighborhood of the shooting. You can see the time, 12:06.
That's her car.
So originally you told us that she was up there at your house with you until 12:15 when you left to go to Hooters. Can you explain that? We're trying to verify Devan's timeline right now. That's the thing.
Yeah. She was not with me. She wasn't with me before that. She came over to my house after I was done with Hooters for about 10 minutes.
For about 10 minutes. What happened when she got there?
She just stopped, used the bathroom, got some water.
Did she leave anything?
No,
Nothing at all.
no, not unless it was in the bathroom.
Did she change clothes?
No, she was.
Do you remember what she was wearing?
Not specifically. I think I told you that night. It was a pair of pants and a t-shirt. No.
Okay.
I think the pants were dark, but I don't remember what the t-shirt was.
Okay. So let's kind of work the timeline. Understand this is why I put the timeline together.
I know.
And so we've got her vehicle in Longmont when she said she was with you. So you guys weren't together. So tell me kind of what happened. Let's go back and talk about the morning and how that all worked. You had told me before you got home about 8 o'clock. Is that right?
At 8 o'clock
In the morning.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. Where were you coming from?
Her house.
Her house. So you weren't at work. Okay, so you were at Devan's house in the morning. What time did you leave her house?
7 something.
Okay.
She went to work. I went to my house.
So she went to work and you went home. But your wife had already been gone, or did your wife see you in the morning?
My wife was taking the kids to school because she has to be to work at 8.
So she was already gone. Okay. So what time did you get to Devan's house? Right? Would have been
I stayed the night
Okay.
at Devan's house. My wife thought I was up.
So that's why you told us that, is to protect yourself from your wife. Or protect. So she didn't find out.
Correct.
So what time did you get to Devan's house?
The night before 10.
Got there about 10? Okay, so what did you do after you got off work? What time did you get off work?
I got off work in the daytime.
Like
And I went home.
about this time? 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went home, took care of the kids, did my stuff with the wife for dinner, and then 4 hours going back to work.
Okay. So you tell her you're going back to work, and you go to Devan's house. And so you get there, you said about 10 o'clock? So what did you guys do from 10 o'clock until 7 o'clock the next morning? Not necessarily deep time.
Yeah.
Like generally,
We
what
spent time together.
Okay.
Talking about this.
did you guys go out to eat? Did you order in? Did you?
There was no eating. I'd already eaten dinner with my family.
Okay. So you ate dinner. You were over there from 10 to 7. You guys did.
Yeah, we did this.
Can I say the affair thing?
Yeah, we did this regularly.
You did what?
I did this regularly.
Okay. And your wife didn't know anything until you told her basically Thursday.
Yeah, she found out the next day.
Okay.
You guys were
Okay.
at the house.
So you're with Devan all night. You didn't want your wife to know. You left at 7 in the morning. Did you have any contact with her?
We talked on the phone a good majority of the day.
Okay.
Off and on.
Okay. What were the conversations like?
They're pretty normal conversations.
Okay.
Just kind of like what's going on with our day, like how things were going. We just talk and we just stay on the phone. She'd wear her earbuds.
So you were on the phone for a while, a short time, multiple times?
Multiple times in quite a while.
Okay.
When I wasn't working, we spent most of the day on the phone together
Okay. Where were you while you were talking to her?
at my house.
You were at your house.
And then I went out driving around, talking to her.
Okay, where all did you drive to?
All over the place.
Anywhere specific? Did you get coffee or lunch or anything like that?
I feel like I don't want to answer those questions without my turn.
Okay. Okay. So you're out driving around, and you're still talking to her on the phone. And then basically, do you ever run into Devan while you're driving around? No, not at all. Were you in the same area as her?
No.
Okay. So, do you know where you told me you didn't want to answer this question, so I'm going to try not to ask him again, but I might if I do. Just tell me the same thing. So you're out driving around and you are still talking to her on the phone. Are you what are you looking for when you're driving around? Are you doing anything in particular? Okay. So basically you drive around, you're on the phone, then you go to Hooters, you have lunch. What do you do after that?
I ended up going home. I stayed at home after that, and then she came by to use the bathroom and get some water at the end of her route. And she goes to my neighborhood.
What time was that?
2-ish, I'm gonna say.
Okay. And then what happened after she got some water and used the bathroom?
And then she left and went back and finished her route.
Oh, she went out and finished her out. Okay. And then,
I'm about my stuff. My house is about 3/4 of the way through her route.
okay. Okay. So, obviously you gave us your phone. Obviously we're coming back 5 days later to talk to you. Obviously I have a detective here with me. And so it's really important today that we get kind of everything straight. This is kind of like an opportunity to make sure everything you told me we can get corrected. It's important you tell me the truth. You work in a federal correctional institute,
There's some conversations that her and I had. Then we need my attorney present.
Okay. So you need your attorney present to talk about any of her conversations. Do you know where she was?
When we were talking, I believe she was doing her route.
Okay. What about in the afternoon? Do you know where she went when you weren't on the phone with her? Do you know anything? Do you know what she was doing when there? Nothing at all. You don't know. Any speculation?
I have the same speculation that everybody has.
Okay.
As soon as I saw the name of who it was,
Okay.
I had the same speculation.
Okay.
She's never told me that she was going to do this.
Okay. So, really, as we go through, the questions I really want to ask you right now, you told me you want an attorney present for. So as we go through, I just want to show you kind of some of the things that have come up over the last couple of days as we go through. This is her car in Longmont. We know this is her car. Came this off the license plate reader. That's her car, pretty close to where Jason was killed. we've got.
Did you drop her off at work? You did that morning? Okay. You dropped her off at the... Okay, I figured you said you didn't want to answer questions about where you went that day. So that's why I'm just asking if you dropped her off at work. Okay, so on the morning of the 13th, you dropped her off at the post office. Okay. Did she ever bring her car over to your house after that?
Her car was parked by it was right up the road from my house. So
Her car was... Okay. Her car is parked up the road from your house. You had taken her to work. Okay. So did you have to pick her back up from work afterwards so she could get her car?
Yes.
Okay. I'm asking that just because obviously she would need to figure out a way to get back home after that. Does that make sense?
Did you take her to work in your truck?
I took her to work I took her to work in my transit.
In your what's that?
We get cars from work.
Okay. Do you know what kind of car it was or anything?
It's a Durango.
Dodge Durango? Okay.
Oh, I saw it on the way in. They had like that
The way to go or
something logo on the side. One of those things. Okay. How do those work into the facility? Like, how do you get one of those?
You have to be part of the van pool program, and then loan them out to us, and we drive them, and then the bureau pays money to basically subsidize it.
Okay.
So you're when you were driving around, were you talking on the phone? Were you in a truck or were you in a Durango?
The Durango.
Okay.
And then my truck when I switched my truck later on in the day.
To get your kids and stuff?
Yeah. And also I switch it with another guy. He drives it then after that.
Okay. And then when you dropped her off, you said you dropped her off at the post office?
Yeah, the post office.
That was in the Durango as well?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And then after work, you said her car was near your house.
She parked her car near my house because after work we were going to fool around in my house before my wife got home, and then she would leave in her car.
Okay. So did you picked her up from the post office too?
Correct.
Okay. In your truck?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Who's the other person that gets the car that you're driving?
It's a coworker from work. His name's Walker.
It's what?
His name's Walker.
Walker?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have it now?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Okay, he's in it now. Is he working?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't mean to cut
He's
you
not
off.
working. He works.
Obviously.
Yeah, he works different shifts than me.
Okay, so it works out that it's one vehicle between you guys. Okay, and he has it now. Okay.
Do you have to sign those cars out when you're using them? They're just assigned to a couple of you to use.
Correct.
Or is there like a roster somewhere that has that car assigned to you?
No, it's through the program.
Okay.
I'm the coordinator, so
Oh, okay.
it's just assigned to me all the time. And then,
So you get to assign vehicles?
Yeah.
So you got the good one? Did you get a good one?
I like it.
You can fit in it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's better than what I had before.
sure. Okay.
Do you have other questions before I show him a few other things?
No, I'm good. We're going to show you a couple other things.
Okay.
You've already indicated that you don't want to talk to us about a couple of things here. All right, so I'm going to show you a few things and see if you want to talk about it all, okay? Get this over here. Do you have any idea what that picture is right there?
Looks like GPS.
So those are phone signals coming from your phone down in the Longmont area in the same neighborhood as the shooting with location information for the mailman who was shot that morning. Alright? So we know that you were in Longmont that morning, and I'm not asking that because of you. I'm just asking that to further verify whether or not you had any idea where Devan was at that time. You've already told me that you weren't with Devan at 12:15 like you had previously told us, alright? So the reason I'm showing you this is because we can show that you weren't with Devan, and you can't obviously verify where she was.
Right. What else did you want to show me?
You got nothing to say about this? That's off your phone. 2 days before this happened, Can you explain that? You're a smart guy. I think you know where we're going with this.
Yeah,
So if you want to give us answers, now's the time to give them to us. These investigations move fast. You know that. We get this data fast. You only get a couple opportunities to give us explanations for what's going on. We're trying to find the truth.
So her and I were talking in the morning when I dropped her off at my house, and I didn't necessarily think too much of it. I thought that we were going to fool around after she got off, and because we had done that in the past. After she had gotten to work, or on her way to work, she had called me and told me that she had decided that that was what she thought needed to happen. And she had told me that she had thought about doing this before. Actually, 3 days prior to that, she told me that she was going to do this, and I talked her out of it. So, and that night, she was going to do it at his apartment in the middle of the night. I talked her out of it. I had to go over there and do it face to face, but she didn't do it that night. This morning, she told me that she was going to do it. She told me that she had already had everything that she needed to make it happen, and I tried to talk her out of it. Then she went into work and told me that there was no talking her out of it. So, after talking to her, and she's mentioned it in the past, and she has talked about his route because she knows the Longmont routes. So I went out there, I knew his route number, I found him, and I continued to stay on the phone with her to try to tell her, to try to talk her out of it. But I thought that she was going to go there a lot earlier than that. I thought that if I would see her, I could stop her. She kept talking to me and never showed up there. I guess she was casing at the time. So eventually she told me, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do it. It's fine. I'm going to go back to work. And she hung up the phone with me. At that point in time, I stopped over at his truck and I told him that he should watch out for her because I think she's planning on doing something. I don't think he remembered who I was because he said, what? He just looked at me and goes, what? And I was like, Devan, I said, she's unstable right now and I think that she's going to do something stupid. And he said, I'm not scared of that bitch. And I said, okay. And I left. And at that time I drove home.
Where was that at? Where did that conversation take place?
I don't remember the road. It was on the long straight road.
In Longmont?
Yeah. It was on his route. It was while he was delivering.
How long did that conversation take? How long were you there with him?
Not even 15 seconds. It was just, all I did was stop and say, hey. I said, you're pushing her over the edge. And I said, I think that you should leave her alone. And he goes, what? And I said, Devan, I said, she's unstable right now, and I think that you should leave her alone. And I said, I think she's going to hurt you. And he said, I'm not scared of that bitch. And I said, okay. And I left.
Okay, so you talk to him, you tell him, you warn him. So you meet him on that route, you talk to him, and then you leave after that? Okay, you know about what time that was when you talked to him?
Right before noon, maybe?
And it was on his route? Okay. And then, so tell me how that goes from there. You leave.
I went back to town and I went to Hooters.
You went to Hooters.
And after hanging out with him for a bit, I headed home. And then after I was home and she stopped by, I thought everything was good. She stopped by, didn't really talk about anything too much. She used the bathroom, she got some water, she left. And after she left was when I saw the articles come in on the news break. And then she called me right after that and told me something had happened to Jason. And I said, what do you mean? And and she was like, I don't know, my friend is telling me that something happened to Jason. And so she called her friend, because her friend just texted her. She texted her like, I'm sorry, or something like that. So she called her and talked to her, and she told her something happened to him. And then she called me, and then she said, she goes, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know where it is. And I said, well, it should be at daycare. And she goes, well, what if he went and got him? And I said, well, maybe he did. I said, you should try to find out. So she called the friend back, I think. Somehow, long story short, she said that she was pretty sure that he was at school, I think.
Okay.
So then she called school, and then somehow she figured he wasn't at school. So I told her, I said, call Longmont PD, because the article, I'm pretty sure is him, and your friend's saying that something happened to him. And so she called Longmont PD, and then she said that they wanted her to come in. And I said, we should probably go in.
So she never said anything to you about being in Longmont, talking in Longmont. You never saw her in Longmont. Okay. So you know, based on what we're showing you, we have a lot of data.
Yeah, I know it looks different.
Can I ask you a quick? Sorry. Where'd the gun come from?
I have no idea.
The only information that we have that when Schaefer did any shooting was with you.
We only went shooting once, and we shot at 22
Where at?
at Liberty.
Liberty. So you never gave her a gun. Okay. You never gave her ammunition, never gave her a gun, never shot anything other than 22 with her. Okay. And she was at your house. She didn't leave anything.
Not that I know. She just went to the bathroom, and then I gave her the water bottle, and she left.
Okay. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
No conversation about Jason. No conversation about you guys doing anything.
No, she never mentioned it. And then when she called me afterwards and started talking about, I just seen the article, and then when I talked to her after that, I didn't want to ask her.
Okay.
I mean,
So it's really important. And understand that there's 70 postal inspectors in Longmont with the 12 or 14 detectives that they have. And we're talking to everybody. We've got ring doorbell cameras. We've got cameras from banks. We've got cameras from traffic lights. We've got all this stuff going on. We've got your phone, her phone, Jason's phone, other text messages. It's really important at this point that you tell us the truth, everything that's happened.
I just did. That's
So-
the truth.
So explain this picture to me. Explain this picture right here in the middle. What's the conversation around that?
So that was the 3 days prior when she told me that she was going to go over there in the middle of the night. And I told her not to. Originally, her plan was she was going to take out Jason, Rosa, and herself. And I begged her not to. I obviously played on the don't take out yourself thing because I can't live without you, and I can't live without you. But I was successful in not getting her to do it that night. I don't know. Part of me felt like she would do it eventually, but part of me thought that maybe she wouldn't.
Did you ever think about calling the police? Saying, hey, this is what's going on?
She's been in this custody battle with him for 5 years, and it's not the first time. Like, she's mentioned it multiple times over 5 years, but she's never done it. So, obviously it's a serious thing. It was also just kind of banter. Like, anytime she was mad at him, it was he needs to go. Like, I need to do that. Usually I'd play it off, or you know, sometimes I play along a little bit and be like, yeah, he is a fucking asshole. But I never thought that she'd actually do it.
Even with all the text messages and you have to go over there, and you never thought she'd do it.
She's also told me she's going to kill herself a million times, and she won't get that.
Okay. And then you never contacted, did you talk to your buddies about it at Cooters, or none of those guys know?
No, they didn't even know I was having an affair.
Okay. Do they know your wife? So it was one of those things you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So no, you never told anybody about it? Okay. And just kind of going back a little bit, you're following the carrier around to warn him?
No, I'm following him around because I thought if I saw her, I could stop her.
Stop her. Okay. Okay. How come in the rideshare vehicle as opposed to your truck?
That's just what I had at the time. Okay. Sometimes when I use the rideshare vehicle, I just leave my truck at my buddy's house. So now and then I take one over there, then I drive the other one back.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Can you use that for something other than work, or?
Yeah, well, as the coordinator, we get it for 250 personal miles a month.
Okay. Okay. All right. I just want to kind of go through that. I mean, one of the big questions I want to ask, and then, I mean, at some point I'll shut up. I'm sorry, but
It's fine.
is
I've accepted over the last few days that I guess in the first night I was still kind of in shock that she actually did it.
that's kind of why you told me what you told me. Did you think about calling me the next day or the day after?
Yeah, I was advised not to by my attorney.
By your wife, or
No, I've retained an actual
okay,
attorney,
okay.
like an actual criminal attorney. She's an attorney, but I retained
Right. No,
an
I got
actual
you.
criminal
I got you. We talked about that
Yeah.
Wednesday night. So I just, it's important. I mean, this is kind of your opportunity to talk to us. And so if there's anything else you want to go, do you have any other questions?
Why don't we have your phone? We got your phone records. We have her phone records. Why don't, if this has happened multiple times where she's said that she's going to do this or she needs to do this, why don't we see any texts of you telling her not to do this if you've begged and pleaded for her not to so many times?
Usually when I talk to her, like I talk. I guess I don't text all the time. Like I talk. It's just what I
She has no documentation of you actually trying to calm her down from going to kill him, even though this has happened multiple times.
I mean, she never told me on text that she was going to do it either. It would just be through talking.
I'm just trying to find stuff that's going to help you at this point, because you gotta understand, you're telling me that, but I don't have evidence of that. Does that make sense?
Right.
It seems to me we have evidence of all this other stuff, but the stuff that we're missing is that stuff that would help to corroborate what you're telling me with that.
Right, yeah. I don't know, we always talked about it. She never texted me that kind of stuff. It would just be during talking. We did a lot of therapy type talking all the time. She has her own problems. She has a lot of trauma. But obviously I did whatever I had to do to get what I wanted.
I don't think I have any other questions. Sorry.
Do you have Snapchat?
Yes.
Let's bring your own shovel me.
What is what?
Bring your own shovel me. Okay. Okay. Did you delete any phone calls or texts off your phone?
And I deleted everything because my wife knew I was talking to her. My wife was not okay with her.
Okay. So that part was true. That your wife doesn't like her.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I can see why.
Yeah, my wife has hated her for 13 years.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We need to step out and talk for a second. You gonna be all right in here for just a minute or two? It won't take
I have
long.
a choice.
You absolutely have a choice.
I'm fine. I'll wait.
Okay. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, you have a choice. We just need to talk real quick. In my phone. My boss is asking me, did you ask it? Yeah. Can you give us just a couple minutes? Is that all right? He's gonna make a quick, okay? And it's just we got to make some decisions and go from there. Not really our decision. So, if you have questions, you can ask me. If I can answer them, I will. Other than that, I'm not going to ask anything at this point. So.
She was going to go through with it.
What's that?
So I really didn't think she was going to go through with it. When she hung up with me, she was going to go back to work.
When she hung up with you, where was she?
So going to do what she did.
Okay. You don't know though?
Well, I don't know. She's never told me. But I mean, the evidence was there.
This is just pieces. This is just pieces of. I told you there's probably close to 80 people working on this. So these are just kind of quick pieces. I mean, it's not like it's, there's a lot more. That's why it's important when.
Well, I mean, now my story's straight now, so I guess whatever happens from here happens. This right before.
What do you think should happen to someone who shoots somebody?
It's tough. I've always been an eye for an eye type of person. But in this case, my feelings about that person are...
I can't hear you, man.
My feelings about that person are different, so...
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what she's going to get.
What about the people that help her?
I mean,
What should happen to them?
I didn't help her.
I didn't say that. I'm
but I'm not. I don't think that she had help in this. She knew us all around.
Did you get another phone after I took yours, or
I've been using my wife's phone.
your wife's? Do you have your wife's phone now? Okay. What's she using?
Her work phone.
Oh, okay. I don't. Are you living at home right now? Is your wife okay with you being there still?
I'm sleeping on separate floors.
Is like the basement part there? Okay. She's pretty mad. Alright. It's the first time you've had an affair? And
Well, it's the first time
first time you got caught?
yeah.
Okay. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but yeah, I mean really, it's the first time she knows. Alright. Any of the guys in the ride share, are they aware of anything?
No, their wives are friends with us. Nobody's aware of anything. Nobody knew.
Okay.
That was one of the things that her and I thought about a lot, is that I might bring her around with friends. She's not. She wasn't the type of person that wanted around my family friends.
How come?
I'm happy in my marriage. It was just a side thing. There's some enjoyability, but it's not what I wanted for my life. She wasn't
She wasn't what?
She wasn't that person.
Okay. And I'm sorry, this thing's going on.
Yeah,
I can't hear you.
I understand that. I'm just in disbelief of this.
Disbelief in which part?
All of it. Whenever I worked on this side, I never thought I'd be a part of any of this stuff. But it's not who I am. It didn't encourage it. I understand that I didn't do enough to stop it. I tried, but I didn't do enough to stop it. But it's just an affair. It was an affair, and this is how it ended.
It's unfair.
It was just an affair.
That was just unfair, okay.
And this is how it ended.
It's kind of where we're at this point. So we're still investigating, still getting stuff back as we go through. So
Yeah, after you guys left, I thought through what I said. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I did it because I didn't want my affair to blow up, but
you wanted to keep the affair
from my wife.
from your wife. Okay, from your wife. Not necessarily keep the affair.
No, that was over. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I saw it hit Newsbreak, I was like, well, that's I wasn't okay with that. But it's not.
Right.
I mean, she talked about killing herself, and she talked about wanting to hurt Jason all the time. It was always talk for 5 years. It was just talk
5 years.
since
Okay.
the kid was born. She got pregnant with right away. They weren't together that long before she got pregnant.
Right.
But it was always just venting. She was just venting. There was only one time when I actually thought the suicide might have been real, and she still didn't do that.
You never saw her with a gun or anything like that. No idea where it came from. Any places you guys would go? If your wife was home or something, like out in the woods or
No, we were always in her apartment.
her apartment.
She was always living on her own, or if not, it was just like her sisters or something like that. That wasn't their business.
Okay.
No, pretty much every time was at her place.
Okay.
How long do you think you were following him for?
Most of the morning was when he started his route.
Okay.
Because she told me first thing in the morning when I dropped her off at work that was going to be the day.
Okay. How much? Where did you start? Where did you find him? How long did you follow him for?
Well, she told me, so the trucks are numbered
Yeah.
in front of the truck, and she told me each route number.
Okay.
So I already knew which truck it was, so I waited out there to make sure that she didn't show up, because I dropped her off and she was like, yeah, I'm going to do it today. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I got everything I need, I'm going to do it today. And I was like, do what? She was like, I'm going to get rid of Jason today. So I don't think that's a good idea. And then she was like, no, I'm done with this. She said that he did something with their parenting agreement, that he was getting full custody, and that Rosa was going to step in and be the mom, and that that side of the family was going to be able to provide better for her. And she was going to be able to. And so I just kept trying to talk her down.
So where all did you go on this track then? When you were following him around, what was that? What was that like? Like, where all did you go?
Nowhere, I just followed him.
Okay.
I figured if I saw her car, then I could stop her.
Okay. Where all did he go? What was his route like?
Just did his route.
Okay. So for 2 hours at least, you followed him around, right?
Yeah, part of that time he just went home.
Okay.
So I just sat at the apartment complex.
Just watching him instead of
I wasn't watching him, I was watching for her.
instead of just telling him, look, this is something that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, they're in a custody issue. Like, I love her. I care about her. My thought process was, if I could stop her, then I'm not getting involved in their custody stuff. I didn't know Jason. Like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted her to like think it through and be okay.
Okay.
But eventually she said okay, and she's like, don't worry about it. It's done. I'm going back to work. And I said okay. And she hung up the phone. And something that was kind of weird. I was just like, she just stopped. She was like, okay, you win. I'm not going to do it. And I was like, you've never given up on anything that easy before. And so I decided to just give him a little warning and went back home.
And you don't remember where he was in the neighborhood when you stopped by his truck?
Can I bother you for just a second?
Yeah.
Can I get that black bag down there by your feet?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So afterward, you pick her up from work and you know at this point that she just shot and killed somebody.
I mean, I don't know, but I saw it on Newsbreak that the
Yeah.
postal worker was hurt, and then she told me that her friend said it was Jason.
Okay.
So putting two and two together.
So you're driving around with her afterward. What did she tell you?
We can drive around with them.
You picked her up from work.
Oh, and I just dropped her back off where her car was, and I told her I didn't want to talk to her.
Okay, so no conversation. So she's just quiet.
I mean, she was going on about where her kid is, but I told her I didn't want to talk to her, so I let her vent about her kid, and then my recommendation was to call Longmont, and she ended up doing that.
Okay. Afterward, after you dropped her off, you went for a drive later in the evening.
I went and picked up the kids from daycare.
Okay, where's the daycare at?
It's over I-25.
Okay.
And then brought them back home. And then at that point, she had called me, and that's when she said she was going to go to Longmont. They wanted her to. So I stayed on the phone with her. I went to get a car wash. And I talked to her while I was doing that. And while I was getting the car wash, she pulled up.
Okay.
When did she give you the number for the truck? You said
Oh, the route number?
not the route number, but the number that's actually on the postal vehicle.
She didn't give me that. She just gave me the route number.
Just the route number?
Yeah, the numbers are on the concrete in front of the trucks on the wall.
Okay. So you saw him leave in his van?
Right.
Okay. So the route number that's on the wall or whatever, and that vehicle he was in.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Carlos here.
Yeah, okay. So that's pretty early in the morning. Not early, but
Yeah, it was like 9.
okay. Okay. After, when did you give him? Sorry, I'm processing some of this. When did you give him the warning that you said you gave him? After he was at his house for a while, or
Yeah,
before?
it was when I left.
Okay.
So I just told him. And I said, there's something back.
Okay.
My buddy was still there, so I told him I need him.
Okay. Did he text you or you call him or what?
He had texted me and asked where I was at.
Okay. Tell him I'm on the way.
And I said, I'll be there in a little bit.
Okay. And that's Brandon.
On my phone, it's Schwartz.
It's what?
Schwartz.
Schwartz. Okay.
We work together at the Youth Corrections.
Okay. Where at?
Platte Valley in Greeley.
Where in Greeley? Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I gave him, I'm gonna go by last names.
Okay. I get that. How long you been here?
6 years. 5 years.
5
Between
years.
5 and 6.
Okay. And you were in Platte Valley for how long?
A couple of years, like 3.
Okay.
And before that was DOC.
Okay. With the state? Where you at? DOC?
Sterling. And then transferred from Sterling to Denver. I worked at the DRDC in Denver.
Okay. DRDC, that's down by State Patrol? Is that the
one
one?
of them is Camp George West.
Yeah.
That's just a camp though, but that is ran by Denver.
Okay.
The other 2 are Havana
Smith Road?
270 or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Smith Road is. But
Yeah, it's the road that's on.
it's where the jail is too.
Okay. Yeah, where Denver County is, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I know it's hard to talk about this stuff, especially after
It's
already
easier
talked.
now that I've told my wife.
I'm sure.
Like,
And I could tell that was uncomfortable.
it was very uncomfortable.
That's why I said to you, I mean, if you remember, I'm like, hey, dude, if you want to talk, we can step outside, we go down to the PD, we can, do whatever, because I knew there was more to that than what you were saying.
Well, I mean, afterward, like I was still, I don't know if shock is the right word, but I was still in disbelief that it happened. I didn't think through, I guess, how it looked for me. I didn't do it. Like, I know how it's looking right now. I know that I didn't do it. So I guess that wasn't my concern. My concern was my marriage.
Sure.
After that, like that night afterwards, I didn't sleep that night. Just laying there thinking about it. And obviously, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's not gonna look good.
That's part of the reason that we're here too, is it doesn't look good.
Right.
And that's why, talk to you and tell you, look, this is an opportunity. I mean, you still have that opportunity right now. I mean,
Well, now I've come clean. I've told you, and now everything I've said is truthful. Before, when you were in my house, obviously, it wasn't truthful.
was not truthful at all.
Yeah.
it's important that you get kind of everything out. I mean, I know there's some things that you don't want to talk about until you have your attorney, and I get that. But it's really important if there's something else that you let us know. If we aren't asking the right question or something we don't ask, it's really kind of important. This is the point in time where we can talk to a DA and say, hey, hang on a second. So this is that time where, that first statement, I mean, you basically were not telling the truth to a federal agent, right? I mean, do you agree?
I know, I thought about that.
I mean, I know you've signed 1001 statements 100 times, right? I mean, I'm sure you signed one today. You work in a federal correctional institute.
Yeah.
So you knew you weren't telling the truth to a federal agent.
I know.
So, I mean, that's where it's important, like right now, is really anything more, this is the time. And I mean, anything. And I don't care what it is. If there's something that you're holding back because you're scared to tell me, this is really when the time is.
I mean, everything that I've said has been honest now.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And there's nothing in your house. Nothing in
No.
your truck.
no, I mean, like I said, unless you were left in the bathroom and she could search the bathroom, there's nothing
Your
else.
wife didn't find anything in the bathroom that
No,
belonged to a female.
no,
Okay.
no, but like I had to kind of explain it to my wife, and I had to tell her that afterwards she came in and she's not happy about that.
So regardless of the affair side of it, how is your wife reacting to the other side of it?
She's not okay.
Not okay with any of it.
No.
Mad as hell at you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my wife was the other person. And like I'm not talking about it. I'm just waiting. She took a couple days off work and she was sat on the couch and cried herself to death all day. And every single time I walk by, I just have to watch her. She doesn't want to be comforted by me. She doesn't want to be good.
Do you kind of understand that?
I totally understand that, yeah. I don't blame her.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said I don't blame her.
Okay. She at work today. Okay. She works at Have you talked to anybody about this since we talked, besides your wife?
Just the attorneys.
Okay, just okay. Who's the attorney?
Derek Samuelson.
I can't hear.
Derek Samuelson.
Okay, is he in Loveland or?
His office is in Loveland, and then he works with a guy. I can't remember his first name. His last name is Castle. I think.
Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna just write that down because I don't want to forget it.
That's fine.
You said Derek Samuelson.
Correct.
The other dude's name is Castle. But you don't know his first name.
I don't remember his first name.
And he's actually out of Denver.
Yeah. I have his card in my truck.
Okay. I just want to make sure he has that as well. So.
Kind of making the assumption that I'm not going to be arrested today.
So, I'll be 100% honest with you. That's why he's on the phone.
That's kind of what I assumed. I figured you maybe have some inside info.
I can't hear you.
I said I figured you maybe have some inside info.
He's on the phone right now. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know the answer to that, but it's possible. So that's why.
I know it'll probably be his decision, but if so, can we like go out and do it? Car or something. I'm not going to.
That'll be his decision.
I've proven I'm not running from you guys.
Right. So I think you probably have a correction shirt on as well. So But you've been
Take it off if I can.
so you've been super cool with us. It's still gonna be up to him.
You gotta grab you for a second.
Yeah, hang tight. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you
The only
this.
reason I'm asking is because then I could go out and take myself off. I'll literally just go stand next to your car if I have to.
So, right
I
now,
don't want to do the walk of shame in front of them.
what's that?
I don't want to do the walk of shame in front of my coworker.
I get that. I get that. I mean, you are not being detained right now. We are talking to you. If you were to get up and leave, first of all, I don't know that I can get out that door right now because I don't have a key to it.
Or because
We'd have to knock. So, if you want to get up and walk out there, I'm not going to stop you right now. I can't tell you that you wouldn't be arrested or that you would because I don't know at this point. I'm telling you. It doesn't look good, what you're telling me. Now, I will tell you this. You've been completely cool with us. So, I mean, me personally, I would let you take off the correction shirt. As long as you don't have any weapons on you, I'd let you walk outside. That's me. That's what I would do, and I'll tell him I said that to you so that he hears it. I mean, you've been completely cool with us today. There's no reason for us to do anything more than just kind of walk outside with you, if that makes sense. But I can't tell you what that answer is. If you want to walk out of here, that's up to you at this point. So, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, what do you think should happen? So ask me that, or answer this if you want. What do you think should happen? We've given you a little snippet of what we have. What do you think?
I know how it looks. Obviously, if I was in your shoes, I know the exact same work as you do, but I have a law enforcement mind. Like, I know how it looks, and I know what I would be thinking. Also, but I know how I would obviously be approaching it too. So, like, I know what you guys are thinking, and I know where you stand. I know that I was trying to stop her, and obviously, I'm the only one that knows that, and I get that. So,
And let me put it on my side. I have to make the determination whether I believe you or not. That you were trying to stop it.
right.
Wednesday night, you pretty much lied to me from 8:40 until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Pretty much, not completely. I get it. I get the reasons why. So that's kind of the decision that's being made. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Is do we believe you or not?
I understand why you want to believe. I believe that from the get-go.
I mean, that's where we're at. And I don't know. I haven't made a decision whether I believe you or not. Based on that, and the reason is I'm sitting here talking to you, yet I've got all this stuff over here. And I'm like, do I believe him or not? And that's the decision that's being made. So, I mean, I'm just being 100% honest with you. I mean, that way Wednesday night, I told you the same thing. I don't know what's going to happen. We got to put a timeline together. The timeline isn't great right now for it. And quite honestly,
I guess, can I ask that I go?
what's that?
Can I ask that I go?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, if you want to get up and leave, that
What vehicle are you guys with out there? I'm
I
literally just
came with him.
I'm just gonna go take my stuff off and stand next to your car and wait for you guys. I just
Okay.
don't want to do it in here.
So I came with him, and I believe he's in a black truck. And I'm going to tell you right now, and it's at the end of the parking lot. So I'm not going to stop you right now, but I'm going to go tell him that's what you want to do. And if you want to get up and walk, like I said, that door is closed. So that's up to you. much stuff you have on. I mean,
That's all the stuff I still have with me.
you still have what?
That's all the stuff I have with me that belongs to here.
Okay. So, as you were just told out there, the body cam's going, and you're being detained officially now. So, keep that in mind, even with Miranda and all that. So, if you want to take off your shirt in here, you can. You don't have any weapons or anything like that, right? I mean, I know you're working in here, so.
Yeah, we can't have weapons inside.
Right. And we can leave it here. And I told you I'd do this. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, man. It is what it is. So.
Can you put my stuff in my truck for me?
I don't think your truck's going to be here.
Oh, well, can you put my stuff in my truck and they can take my truck, so they take all at once?
I don't know if it's still here.
Oh, okay.
So we had a search warrant for the truck. It may be towed already. I don't know. Do you have the keys?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me make a quick phone call. And let me just real quick, hold on. And then if we could put that in there, what do you want to put in the trunk?
My bag is sitting right outside,
Okay.
and then just my vest and
Hang
from
on.
my pockets.
You guys have the truck? Okay, I have the keys if you want them. Okay, so it's still sitting out there. Okay, cool. All right, man. Now hang tight, and we'll figure this out in just a second, and then I'll give you a call back. But he just gave me the keys, so we'll go from there. We're trying to figure out. He wants to get his stuff put in his bag, and his bag put in his truck, so he doesn't have to walk out in his uniform shirt and all that. So but hang tight. I'm waiting on detective to get back, so we're just trying to make sure that we can coordinate that. But in just a minute here, let me get Josh back, and I don't know. Okay, thank you. Bye. So we'll get that figured out in just a second. If you want to put that stuff over here, that way. Is there anything else? These keys actually stay with the jail, correct? Or the
Yeah, you can give them to the lieutenant at the county.
okay, and the radio, just set them there. I just want you to have a place to sit. The radio, I'm assuming, is theirs as well. Anything else you want to leave? Or
Probably take my wallet with me.
okay. Do you have your phone on you, or where's the phone?
Yeah, I have it on.
Okay.
That's just a chip.
What's that?
Just a chip.
It's
That's
what?
mine.
It's what?
Just a chip to check out this equipment.
Oh, okay.
I just put it in my pocket or something.
Okay. Where's the phone?
Right here.
Okay. Grab that real quick.
You have a warrant for this? Since it's not mine.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. That's your wife's law, though.
Yeah, but I'm only detained right now. I'm not under arrest yet.
That is correct. I would ask you not to be on your phone.
Can I text my wife and just tell her?
Not right now.
Detained.
Not right now. Just hang tight, okay? It's not my call. That'll be his call. Detective Bird's call. Okay. I know you want to. I get
I just want to tell her that.
Let's figure out what's going to happen. Okay. And then we'll go from there. I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass. I'm just trying to kind of go along. You need a pen?
Yeah. Can I just write down the number on my hand so I don't know it?
Here's my pen. Will that work, or do you want yours?
Yeah, that works.
Let's do this. You want a piece of paper? Are you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least then I'll have it.
Have it? Okay. Yeah, you didn't keep my pen.
No, let's
Come
have
on
it.
now.
Let's just
I know.
have it.
Trust me, I get it. I get it. Yes, I can get you. I'll borrow or
Can I use that phone?
not the phone, but I can get you a piece of paper.
I mean, at least I'll have this with me.
Okay, I just don't want it to wipe off or.
Do you know if I'm arrested where they'll be taking me?
So, I don't know. My guess would be Boulder County.
I don't think I can go there.
Why?
Because I know over half a dozen staff there.
Okay. I don't know is the true answer. We may go back to the PD to figure all that out. And I'm not trying to give you a wrong answer. I'm telling you, I get what you're saying. How come you know the staff there?
I worked with them at some point.
Okay. Okay.
And most of them that I know, there's some that work there that I don't even know work there. People talk to me, oh shit, I didn't know they worked there. Yeah, they went there last year or whatever.
Right.
But I can name at least 6.
Okay. I don't know is a good answer. And the problem maybe is that could be everywhere. I mean, you've been doing this a while, right? Almost 10 years.
Yeah. Boulder, I know the most. That's the
Okay.
problem. Like more than anywhere, obviously here, but yeah.
But it is their jurisdiction, so it's also.
I mean, they can do whatever they want.
I
I
know.
know a bunch of the staff
Right.
there, so I don't know if that's an issue or not. It's definitely going to be an issue for me.
Sorry for the wait.
It's fine.
You good if I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah.
So you said this has happened a couple of different times. Walk me through Devan's planning for these incidents. What was her plan?
She never had planning. It was always just, she would get upset, spur of the moment. It was never like planned out.
Okay, so how many times did this happen where she said, hey, this is it, I'm gonna go kill him, and you had to talk to her and say, no, don't do it,
The
don't
only
go
time
kill him?
that she specifically said that this was it, I'm going to do it, was 3 days prior to this incident.
You told me this happened more than once, where she had told you that she wanted to
Well, she was
kill him
saying
and you
like,
had to talk her
she
down.
was saying that like I needed to get rid of him or whatever, but like I said, that was just like banter. That wasn't like for real. Like I have everything I need. I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah,
It was just like he pisses me off, or he did this, or we had this run in today, or something happened that she would just be like, I'm so pissed off, like, and then she'd make whatever comment she made about it. It wasn't always killing him. Sometimes it was hurting him. Sometimes it was
okay.
running away, and taking and just disappearing. It was a whole bunch of different things.
But not something that you had to talk her down for until
No.
this incident.
Until 3 days prior, she said she was just going to go over there middle of the night, and everybody was going to go.
Okay,
And that's the one I talked her down from. That was the first time that, like, that's when
yeah.
I realized that's when she showed me that she had
Yeah.
stuff, that she had her outfit.
You're a correctional officer.
Correct.
I imagine you got a lot of buddies in law enforcement.
Correct.
Okay.
I got a lot in Boulder County. I was just telling you about.
So, you know that she wants to kill this guy. So much so to the extent that you go down to where his mail route is to keep an eye on him just in case she shows up so that you can confront her.
Correct.
She tells you over the phone that she's done, it's passed, I'm not going to do it, which you found odd, but you still hung up the phone, just told him, hey, look out, and took off.
So when I took her that morning, when I took her to the post office, that's when she told me that was going to be the day.
Yeah.
And she was never like so specific like that. And she said, I already have everything I need. And I said, what are you talking about? And she's like, I have everything I need. I can do it today. She never told me what she had. She never told me what she needed. She didn't tell me any of that stuff. She just, like, the way that she was saying it,
Yeah.
it was obvious that it has escalated to being an actual serious problem. And 3 days prior to that is when she sent me the picture.
Okay. But you didn't feel like it was serious enough to notify the police, say, hey, she's going to kill this guy. Why didn't you tell anyone?
Hindsight's 2020, but I thought I could talk her down again. I talked her down prior to this.
Okay.
I thought I could stop her. If I saw her, I just needed to see her. Like, if we were face to face, she's depressed. She's had a lot of depression issues. She sees a therapist about it.
Mhm.
I think she's slightly bipolar and has those, like, not personality issues, but like she definitely is bipolar. Like, she'll flip on me.
Yeah.
too. But whenever we're face to face, she calms down. I thought if I saw her, I could calm her down, and she would do it. Like, she would snap out of it.
Okay.
But our conversations that morning, were not. They weren't normal conversations.
You were on the phone with her for like 2 hours and 40 minutes while you were down there in the neighborhood. So what are you talking about during that time?
I'm trying to talk her out of it.
You're trying to talk her out of coming down to where you are and killing someone.
I mean, when you put it that way, yes, it wasn't necessarily where I am, because I guess that was. She didn't know I was there. Like, I'm just trying to talk her out of it. But I had a feeling.
But she knew you weren't at your house because she stopped by at your house. So she didn't ask you where you were? What did you tell her when she asked you where you were?
She did ask me where I was.
Okay, what did you tell
I
her?
told her I was out at lunch with my friends.
Okay. At lunch at 9 in the morning? She believed that you were at Hooters at 9 in the morning?
She believes that I was with my friends at 9 in the morning. She believes I was with my friends most of the morning.
Okay. After all this happened, who did you tell? Because I know that you didn't tell my partner here when he came to your house and asked you about it. So who did you tell? Because you knew that she went down there and that she killed
The
this
only
guy.
person that I've talked to about any of this afterwards was my attorney.
Okay. And you told them that Devan killed this guy and you
I
know
didn't
that
tell
you're
him that
involved.
he killed him. I said,
Okay.
this is the case. I said, she's been charged. I said, the truck was there at my house.
Okay.
And I gave him my series of the day, like my timeline of the day.
Okay. So you didn't tell him what Devan did. You just said what Devan's been charged with.
And, she never told me that she did it.
Okay.
Like, I can't say that she did. Like, she didn't. She never actually told me what she did.
Okay. But you obviously knew what she was intending on doing if you took it so seriously that you went all the way down there. So you knew that she intended on killing you. That was the plan that she had relayed to you.
Right.
Okay.
I knew that she was intending. I didn't know she was intending. Like, and I knew that she was talking about it that morning. I didn't know she was actually carry it out.
So besides your attorney, so after she gets arrested and all that stuff goes down, she gets charged. Besides your attorney, though, who did you tell?
That's it.
You didn't tell your wife.
No.
That
My wife is
the woman
aware.
that you're having an affair with just went down and killed her ex.
We've been talking about the affair more than anything.
Okay.
She's upset.
But the murder didn't come up in your conversation.
No, because she doesn't. She hates Devan. Like, hates her. She's hated her for a long time, so she doesn't want to talk about her.
Probably sounds like she has a reason to hate her.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
I have a reason-
If we're
I have a
being
reason to
fair.
hate her too, and
If
that's
we're
it,
being
so-
fair.
Yes. So she doesn't want to hear about that stuff.
Okay.
She's obviously had to hear what she had to hear about the affair, but she hasn't been doing well. So for like 2 days, she just sat on the couch and wouldn't talk to me.
Okay.
And we're sleeping on different floors right now, so
Tell me about Jason. What do you know about Jason?
I don't know Jason. I think I've met him twice in my whole life. I know what she tells me. And what she tells me is just that he's been abusive to her in all these different ways, whether it's psychological, physical, there's a whole bunch of ways. But I've never seen it, I've never been around it, I don't know him.
Okay.
Now I guess I've met him 3 times in my whole life. The third time being when I told him what I told him. But
Yeah.
prior to that, once was probably about 2. I helped her dad move a washer and dryer to his apartment.
Okay.
And the only other time he came over, probably like 8 or 9 months ago, to pick up one day. I literally was just standing outside, and I just said, "What's up?" He didn't say a word to me, and he took Jason. That's all I've ever done. Otherwise, I don't know him personally. I've never talked to him, or I don't even have his number. I don't know that stuff.
Okay. You just mentioned that you don't like Devan all that much either.
Well, I'm saying that now.
Okay.
I love Devan. You know, I have. I've known her for 13 years. Like, she's somebody that I care about.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not very happy with her that I'm in this position because she made the decision that she made.
Okay. Even though you have a bunch of guys who work law enforcement, all kinds of people that you could have told that, look, I'm involved in this, you didn't tell anyone. You did think she was going to do it. You went down there to warn him.
Right.
You went down there not just to warn him. You went down there and you waited. if what you're telling me is true, if I'm supposed to believe what you're telling me is true, you're saying that you went all the way, you believed it so much to the extent that you went all the way down to Longmont after you had spent the night with her to go down there and sit and follow a mail truck around for 2 or 3 hours. That's how much you believed it. And you didn't tell anyone else. That's what I'm supposed to believe? Where did the gun come from?
I have no idea. I assume it happened, so I don't know whose it is.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this, okay? And I think you understand why. All right? I don't think it's hard to come to the conclusion that I'm having a hard time coming to terms with your story right now. What did you make that day? Sure.
No, I don't mean my firearms. If you catalog all my firearms, you can check them all against FFLs.
Okay.
If that's what you're implying, that it's mine, it's not mine.
I'm trying to figure there's no way that you can tell me that you didn't believe that her threat to go down there and kill him was serious.
I mean,
I'm just saying, by your actions that morning, that tells me you absolutely believed it was a serious threat.
that morning is the first time that I thought, that I had the feeling that she might actually do it.
Okay.
And I'm not, because I have the feeling, yes, hindsight's 20/20. I should have done more. But I believe that if I saw her, I could stop her, and if I didn't have to worry about getting involved in those two, I might not mess up her custody battle. I tried to convince her to keep a level head. I was not successful.
Okay. That even when she got off the phone with you, you told me yourself, she got off the phone with you, she said, all right, don't worry, it's past. And even you said that you know her well enough to know that that's a bunch of bull.
She doesn't usually give up.
She doesn't do that, right? So you knew the thought was still in her head.
I 100% knew the thought was still in her head.
Okay.
I thought,
Yeah, you still
I
hung up the
It was
phone.
going to be right then. I didn't know that that's what hanging up on me meant.
Right.
I thought she was going to go back to her route for the day. She'd finish it off. We'd continue this on later on. I don't know how else to explain it. I didn't know
Okay.
she was going to. That's what hanging up.
So you knew she was still thinking about it. You went on a conversation with her. You drive by him and have a quick little 15-second conversation with him. Please remind me, what did you say to him?
I just told him, I said, hey, you need to look out for Devan. I'm worried that she's going to do something stupid. And he goes, what? And looked at me I don't think he recognized who I was. I think he was confused because I mentioned her name.
Okay.
And I said, Devan, I think she's unstable and she might do something to you. And he was like, I'm not afraid of that bitch. And I said, okay, man. And I left.
Done all that you can do at that point.
I mean,
And you went to Hooters and had lunch.
like I said, I thought that she went back to her route. I gave him his warning. Like I said, 3 days prior, she had talked about the middle of the night. I was still planning on doing my part of trying to get her to realize that that's not a rational of dealing with things.
Okay.
I thought that I was successful at the time, and I wasn't. And I thought that I could continue, or at least convince her later on that that's not what needs to happen.
So what if I told you that there are people that said that even though you and Jason didn't have a lot of contact together, from their understanding, there's tension between you and Jason, specifically because of the situation with Devan. We said that they feel very personally that you specifically had it out for Jason.
How and why? What's the motive there? What do I stand to benefit from that?
He was with the girl that you're apparently with.
It's not with
They have a kid together. They spend time together.
They don't spend time together, but I could care less. She also cheated on me with 2 other guys throughout this whole time. I didn't do anything.
Is it really cheating on you though if you're with your wife?
No, and that's why I didn't care.
Yeah.
My point is, I wasn't the only person that she was sleeping with, and I wasn't upset about that. I didn't care. She was a side piece.
Were you scouting out that area for her to come down?
She already knew his route. She already knew his route. She was at his case.
That wasn't my question.
Prior to that.
That wasn't my question.
No, I was not.
How do you know she was in his route weeks prior to that?
She told me that she got kicked out of the post office before that by some lady at the post office because that lady was his secret post office girlfriend, is the way she worded it. And she was there picking up her mail, and she said that when she walked by his case, some lady after her and told her that she had to get out of the post office. That's what she had told me. And obviously thinking back, that's what I'm assuming it was. She already knew his route. She told me his route a bunch of times. That's how she told me that number.
She knew the route number. Did she ever deliver that route?
I don't know if she delivered it. She said that he's been on that route forever. When she originally told me the route number, she said he's been on it literally forever.
She knows the route. She knows what route number.
She knows the route too. I mean, she worked at the post office, at that post office.
Okay.
But she, I guess, talking to him, I don't know if they talk about the route or what. But she'd already knew the route.
What do you think she's telling us?
I have no idea.
What do you think she's saying?
I have no idea.
Why didn't you call him back the next day? When you know what we're looking into, you know the seriousness of it.
Because my attorney advised me not to speak to him.
Why didn't your attorney call us?
Say my client might have information in a rather high-profile investigation.
I guess he's waiting on.
Because you lied blatantly to that guy,
I know, I've already talked to him about that.
and your wife is no excuse for that.
I know, I've talked to him about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about it now. I understand you guys may have had a chit chat about it, but I'm asking you about it now.
Yeah, I know. I told him that I made a mistake on what I told him. I was trying to cover up the affair. I wasn't a part of this like it looks like I am. So when he was there, yes, I realized the car was out there, and she said that she was there, and so I understood why my house was being searched. It's not that I didn't understand it, but I didn't comprehend the fact that this was going to go to where it is now, because I wasn't part of it. I know that it
You were
looks
on
like
the
I
phone
am.
with her almost the whole time. How are you not a part?
Every day, you can look at my records every day. I'm on the phone with her every day, all day.
Yeah, but this day you were specifically talking to her about her going down there and killing someone.
No, I was not.
You just said you were trying to talk her down from doing that, so you weren't talking to
But
her
I
about
wasn't
that?
talking about her going and killing somebody. I was talking to her about not making a decision.
So you made a random trip down to Longmont that had nothing to do with the mailman. So you didn't think that she was on her way down there to kill somebody.
What I thought.
Why did you go down there to follow him around if you didn't think that's what she was going to do?
Because I wanted to stop her if she came out there.
So you did think she was on her way to
But
go down there to
I
kill
didn't
him.
discuss with her about going and killing somebody. I'm trying to talk.
But you said she talked about that before. You said that you had to talk her down from that on more than one occasion. That was the first thing you told me. You said you had to talk her down from that on more than one occasion, and each time you were successful. And then this last time when I asked you about it, you said this is the only time that it got this far that you had to talk her down. Because the other times now are just banter. So the other times didn't happen, but this is the only time that you've had to try to talk her
I
down.
told you 3 days prior I had to.
Correct, that one. Okay, I'll give you that one. Yes, you said that one 3 days prior. You had to talk her down from that one. And we said you were there multiple times when you've had to talk her down. And so now it's just the 3 days prior, and then the day that she finally does this.
Correct.
So only 2 times now.
Correct. The other times I told you I didn't talk her down. It was just we were just talking. Like that was never serious. She never came at me in the way that she came at me that day, where she was like, I already have everything I need. Like that was never something that she
What
said.
does she mean by that? What stuff did she have?
I don't know. She didn't tell me. All she said was that
She's talked to you about this before. You've had to talk her down. So what was her plan?
I don't know. Well, I assume her plan was whatever ended up happening. I don't know. She didn't tell me her plan. She knew that I wasn't going to be okay with it. That's not who I am.
And yet you had to go down there and find him and warn him in person because you
I didn't
didn't
originally-
know what she was going to
I didn't
do?
originally intend on warning him.
You were just going to follow him for 3 hours like a stalker?
That's how it looks. That wasn't the intention, but yeah.
Because you didn't know.
Because I
That
thought
she was
if I
gonna go
saw
do
her
that.
Show up.
So either you did take her seriously or you didn't take her seriously. It's one or the other.
I already told you I took her seriously enough that I stayed on the phone with her and tried to convince her that these are not good options. These are not good ideas and solutions to her problem.
Okay. Do you understand where I'm getting the conflicting ideas
Totally
here?
get it, and I told him the same thing. I understand. I work in a career where I do investigating of stuff that goes on here, and I get what you're seeing, and I get why you're thinking what you think. I totally understand. That's why I pretty much already understand where everything's going to go. I know that I didn't do that on purpose, and I know that the evidence doesn't necessarily say otherwise. But I also know that I've never been complicit with it. I've never told her that I want her to do it, and I've never been okay with it. So, I like I said, I know the stuff that's
You
on.
just helped her cover it up afterwards by not telling anybody and by lying about it.
I did
Think
lie.
about what you say here.
I did
Because
lie.
I already know the answers you gave that man the other day.
Correct. I did lie to him about the stuff so that I could try to cover up my marriage or my affair to save my marriage.
And in doing so, you covered up
But
Devan.
my intention was not to try to alter or cover up.
But that's what you did. That's exactly what your lies did. Do you understand that?
I understand what you're saying. That's my answer.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't.
Okay. All right, you're under arrest. Go ahead and stand up. Place your hands behind your back.
Is it possible to do that out in the parking lot?
No, stand up for me. We'll figure out what we need to as far as your. Do you have a uniform shirt on underneath this? You took it off already. Okay. Now go ahead and face this gentleman right here for me. Two handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yep. What all do you have on you right now?
It's my wallet.
I'll have my officer outside double locked so we can get out there, alright? Unless I have a key here, actually, hold on, I might be able to do it here. You got one? So we're taking your truck, just so you know.
On September 25th, 2023, AJ Ritchie was found guilty of first-degree murder, and he was immediately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for his role in the murder of Jason Schaefer. Earlier that year, on March 7th of 2023, his girlfriend Devan Schreiner was found guilty of first-degree murder and was also immediately sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Remember, Devan was interviewed the day of Jason Schaefer's murder, and that interrogation is linked below for those of you that want to see how that went. It is quite a video, that's for sure. I want to thank you all for watching. New videos coming soon. Make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you there.